There's a few things I want to talk about today. Right now, Swifferhead's on the podium, and she's talking about the wall, and she's talking about the dog. And despite what the mainstream media wants you to think, Biden is not going to build the wall. What Biden is doing is the wall is being the money's all been spoken for, and he was trying to get it reallocated. That's his story. Well, if he wanted to spend the money that's already been allocated, he wouldn't be building two 20-mile long segments of the wall. He's building a wall where the people are coming across, the most people are coming across, and that's the Rio Grande Valley and Eagle Pass. And he's building those segments there, but they're going to go somewhere else. Because we're already having issues in Yuma, Arizona, where somebody got into the framework of the wall where the housing is for the sensors. And see, people don't realize this is much, much more than just a wall, a barrier. There's high tensile steel. This was designed by a guy who designed suspension bridges. You could ram a big truck into this wall, and it's not gonna go down because each picket has these high tensile steel cables running through it and into the concrete. And, so it's like I said, it's like a suspension bridge. You ever drive over that bridge in Charleston? Those cables there, same principle. You get the cables wrapped together and embedded in concrete. Same thing. Now, they also have sensors. This box that's buried in the ground, the lid's exposed. You open it, and that's where the sensor packages are for to tell if somebody's trying to dig under, climb over, or somebody's approaching by vehicle. And that alerts the cameras. And someone managed to, without alerting the cameras, open this housing and remove the sensor packages. And now we have people climbing over that section of wall because the sensors are taken out. Now, these people know about this, and this was done on our side of the border. So somebody on our side of the border did this. That's really screwed up. But that has to be addressed because this whole wall was supposed to have sensors like this. Now, the getting back to that they're not going to build the whole wall. In the 18 months of construction that took place during Trump's administration, because they had to award contracts, they had to go through environmental stuff and stuff like that, they actually were proceeding really fast because in the 18 months they reconstructed 600 miles of damaged and ineffective and substandard barriers, and then another 400 miles of new construction. People always say he only built 400 miles of wall. No, they built 1,000 miles of wall, but 600 of it was rebuilt. Now they say they're required to spend this money on the wall. Well, there's 1,200 miles left to build. There's 1,200 miles left to build. If Trump would have been reelected, this wall would be done by now. But what they're doing is they're using this as a subterfuge that we have to use this. We have to that we don't want to do this. We got to do this. That's a load of shit. They're putting the wall up where the most of the people are coming across in the RGV and the Eagle Pass. And the reason they're coming across there is the river has it remains shallow for the most part, unless there's rain or something else going on. It's relatively shallow, and you can wade across it. And the current is not that fierce. So that's why you're dealing with those two areas. So that's all they're doing is they're doing two 20-mile segments. That leaves over 1,100 miles of wall to be built. So don't believe them. It's a political thing to make it look like they're doing something coming up into the election, and all they're doing, because they'll just go to another section of the Rio Grande River and come over. It's not too hard for them. Uh, those were areas that were easy to get across. That's why the wall should have been built there before, but we ran out of time. Uh, okay. Now what do I want to get to? Oh, back to the whole thing with the speaker thing. Uh, Jim Jordan, great guy, uh, great congressman. He's doing a great job on the investigation in regarding Biden. That's why I'm reluctant to see him move on to the speakership, simply because he's being so effective in doing what he's doing right now. That means he would be a great speaker. I'm just concerned with momentum in that he would be a great speaker. Uh, Steve Scalise. Steve's got health problems, and that is a very taxing job. He would be a great speaker, but I actually am afraid, because he would be away all the time. He would have inconsistent health service, going around campaigning for people, raising money, doing all this and that, and the job, because that's part of the responsibility of being the speaker. And I'm afraid it would take a toll on him. I mean, it's going to take a toll on anyone who has that job, but he has health issues, and that would concern me. He's a great man. He would be a great speaker. Uh, if he assumes the speakership, I hope Kevin McCarthy becomes the majority leader. They've already moved him into a leadership office in the Capitol. Put him in Nancy Pelosi's office. I'll tell you what, Patrick McHenry, that you were showing some style there, kicking them out of those offices. Really, really, they needed that because they're such arrogant, indignant turds. I want to get to Congressman, when this thing that happened the other day, I was damn mad about it, because it weakens us. It weakens the party. It hurts our chances of retaining the leadership. And what was it predicated on? It was predicated on a man a flawed man with ideologies and propensities that just he's this man showed a picture of his genitalia to a woman on the floor of the House, according to the accusations against him. I don't even know why this investigation is still going on. It should be over. It should be over, and he should be out. If they would have done that effectively, we wouldn't have had happen what we had happen, because his thinking is he could control things with this one man, one vote, you're out deal to keep the ethics committee from coming down on him, or to stall or stop this investigation. I mean, I don't like perverts. That's why I don't watch Newsmax, because Newsmax has a couple of them on there, working there. One guy that used to work for Fox Business that showed dick pics to Lise Wheel and Ebony Williams and Kat Timpf. You know, he's on there, and he's one of their good guys. Well, he's not a good guy. That's why I don't watch that channel. Uh, but yeah, he is. He's not a good guy. His motivations. He used the money thing, which I agree with. I agree with. You know, we got to get rid of all this spending, but he used that uh, as a hook to get what he wanted. Uh, we have another guy, I forget his name, that basically was doing this because he was friends with Liz Cheney, and he wanted, you know, I guess he didn't like the way that Kevin McCarthy treated Liz Cheney. So, yeah. Then the one that really has me pissed off is Two-Face Nancy Mace. And I call her Two-Face Nancy Mace for a variety of reasons. She was involved with some altercations that she took the side of the squad over fellow Republicans. She got in it with Lauren Boebert, and she got in it with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And it's like, you don't side against the Republicans, especially in favor of the squad. And that just ticked me off. But then this stuff now, you know, the Katie Arrington ran against her in the primary. She was primaried last year, and Nikki Haley came to her defense. Nikki Haley campaigned for Nancy Mace, and she got her reelected by the skin of her teeth. And then after that, Nancy Mace turned completely around. She is a rhino. She wanted to put up laws for women's health, which was basically about abortion. That she's a Republican, and she was supposedly pro-life, but now all of a sudden she's pushing abortion issues. Then and saying how the Republican Party is so flawed on our policies about abortion. Then she starts talking about gun control. She's all of a sudden a gun control. She's a full-blown Dem, and she voted like it this week. She's a full-blown Dem. She wants to expand background checks and all this other stuff. Well, let me tell you about background checks. All right, law-abiding people shouldn't have to worry about background checks, but they've become excessive. They've become excessive because when I bought my gun in Pennsylvania at Cabela's in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, I had to go through two background checks. The PICS, which is the Pennsylvania Instant Check System, and I also had to go through the NICS. NICS is the National Instant Check System. Now, PICS is run by the state police. NICS is run by the ATF. So I had to go through those two checks to purchase my firearm. Then when I went down to Sheriff Weekneck's office to get my concealed carry permit, Sheriff Weekneck ran my name and everything through the National Crime Intelligence Center, or NCIC, which is run by the FBI. So there's another layer of background check. He also ran me through CLEAN, which is the Commonwealth Law Enforcement Assistance Network, which is the state police network. He also then ran me through Raiders. Raiders is a local police warrant check service that also looks at domestic violence. So when I got my concealed carry permit in Pennsylvania, I had to go through 3 checks after the 2 checks. So now I've been through 5 checks. I moved to South Carolina. To get my concealed carry permit. I had to go to class. After I went to class, I had to submit my fingerprints to the FBI to run through AFIS, Automated Fingerprint Identification System. So now the FBI has checked me out twice. The ATF has checked me out once. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has checked me out twice. And the County of Berks has checked me out once. And in addition to that, my records go through SLED, which is the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. So now I've been through 7 background checks for that one gun. So Nancy Mace wants to do a whole other thing, and what she is talking about has nothing, in her bill has nothing to do with background checks. It has to do with the databases that the liberals want to get a hold of. And that is why Kevin McCarthy didn't bring her bills to the floor, because they were not in compliance and conducive to what the Republicans represent. And if she wants to put bills like that to the floor, become a goddamn Democrat, because that's pretty much what she is now. And that was her motivation for voting against McCarthy. So you have 3 people on there that do not have pure motives and are not at all what they do and what they say. And because of people are already raising money to primary against her, she's putting this out there, and she's bullshitting Republicans, conservative Republicans, to believing that she did as to her motives here. When she's, just go online and search, Nancy Mace abortion, Nancy Mace gun control. Look it up. I don't mind being verified or fact checked. This woman is a Democrat. She's been a Democrat before she got reelected, and she got another Republican who is a Democrat who's pretending to be a Republican, Nikki Haley, to follow her in suit, to pull her through. And if Nikki Haley supports her in next year's election, then that tells you why you shouldn't vote for Nikki Haley. But hopefully, Nikki Haley won't be on the ballot by then. All right, one last thing. Biden's damn dogs. They keep putting stories on about Biden's dogs and about them biting people. These dogs, because if I could understand like one of them being ill-tempered, the other one being ill-tempered. When you got 2 dogs that are ill-tempered like this has to do with their treatment. These bites are not the fault of the dogs. They're the fault of the people who are their caretakers. Now, I don't know if Biden mistreated him. I would think he would be bitten to shit if Biden mistreated him. But I think somebody along the line was not good to these dogs for them to be biting so much, for them to be so ill-tempered, because they're a very trainable animal. And there are an abundance of people who would be willing to come in and work with those animals and train them and even be in-house for them. There's plenty of places at the White House that somebody could put a bunk in the basement somewhere. I'm sure that someone could be working with this dog all times. And I'm not talking about Secret Service either. I'm sure there's some ex-Marines, some Army people who have worked with dogs, who could have given this animal a chance. These animals a chance. And I do not fault these animals. I fault the people around them. And that's about it. All right. Stay safe. God bless.